Well, I've been pestering you for a fair bit to do a video. So
Yeah, you're
awesome to sit down with you. But yeah, thanks for doing that and giving up some time. Now, obviously, I do this for a YouTube channel, and so yeah, I just thought it'd be awesome to sit down and chat with you about all the epic waves we've had this winter so far. I know we've already been talking about it a little bit before we sat down in front of the camera, but yeah, the last like month and a half been pretty good.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. It's been incredible.
I saw that video your brother put out of that epic slab session down on the south coast.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that session, and I guess like how do you even prepare yourself to like surf that stuff, because it's something that I haven't done.
It's a weird thing, like riding big waves is something that has to be a really personal like goal of yours. There's no faking it, and if you fake it, there's a tendency that you're going to get really, really hurt.
Yeah.
So it has to be something that you actually want to do. And when people say like, oh, how do you do that? How do you ride waves like that? How don't you get scared or whatever? Like, the truth is like, I'm so excited about being in that moment and having that opportunity that I'm not really thinking about the repercussions of it, and not thinking about, you know, failing or anything like that. I'm just so excited about being there, and like that kind of excitement takes over, and you don't think about anything else, you know what I mean? So I think first and foremost, like any advice I'll give anyone for riding big waves is to make sure that it's something like it's a pure thing for you, like you actually want to do that.
Yeah.
If you actually want to do it, like it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I guess.
But never, I don't think you should ever force it. Like if you're not feeling it, if you're feeling fearful, like chances are that it's like some kind of gut instinct, or
yeah, you know, like I'm not ready for this.
Exactly, and you kind of know it internally, and you should listen to that and not do it.
Yeah, so it's definitely like something you should work up to.
Totally, yeah. I'm not. I mean, I'm bloody old, man. I'm turning 40 this year, and I've been surfing since I was 10 years old. So 30 years it's taken me to get as confident as what I am. But in saying that, there was a wave in that session that was, you know, caught me off guard, and I got it on the head, and I was shitting myself. Yeah. Like it was a huge wave and sucked me over the falls, and I only just came up before the next wave hit me. So.
That's crazy. Yeah. Consequences are huge, eh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's like my biggest fear is not coming up.
Yeah.
But
sure.
You know, that's the thing. I've got that. I always feel that gut instinct. Like, you know, the other day when we surfed like Avalon, and I was on the rocks, and I was like, geez, I didn't think it was that big, you know, from the top.
Yeah.
And then the sets kept coming in. I was like, far out. The other, you recently just got back from Africa. Yeah.
So after that, there was actually a pretty good run of swell at Whale Beach, where we're at the moment. Yeah. Got some good waves, and then after that, got the opportunity to go over to Africa to go surf in Namibia, and got some incredible waves, man.
Did you have a good crew?
Yeah. I went over with Josh Cleve and met up with a bunch of his kind of African mates over there. Yeah, awesome. It was so cool, but it's such a weird experience also at the same time, because it's almost like it's overwhelming to your senses. Like, first of all, you got to fly for like 45 hours to get there, and then you get there, you arrive there, and like we arrived the day of the swell, and then end up like surfing the whole day, and it was like kind of continued on like that for like 4 days, and so you know you're riding these waves, and you're riding for like 30 seconds sometimes, and it's like this mind warp thing where you don't remember what happened on that wave, because the whole time you're concentrating so much, and you're fatigued from all the travel and everything like that. And if it wasn't for my GoPro, like capturing some of those moments, I wouldn't remember any of it.
Yeah, be a bit of a blur.
It's total mind mess up.
Yeah, those waves are just amazing.
Yeah.
And that wave that Josh got was insane, hey?
Oh, that was the best wave that I saw come through that day, and the fact he did a 360 in between the barrels, it's so ballsy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was like instinct or something.
I wouldn't do that.
Because people like, you don't think about doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and that was the biggest wave that came through that day, and he'd already gotten a kick
he was in it for ages.
What, 15, 20 seconds? And then he comes out and he does a spin, knowing full well that there's way more wave to go. Yeah. Like, I'd be so nervous about messing that up. I'd like take my hat off to him, mate.
Because he had the GoPro, and like, I don't know. It must be hard to like watch that wave, because you're just flying past down the line. So as you're paddling out, just it goes. Yep. You're so
you're going so quick. Yeah. And you're reading sections like that aren't you know, like a couple of meters in front of you. You're not like looking at the lip line thinking, okay, I'm deep here, I'm going to need to raise.
Yeah.
You're looking at like a section that's 20 meters ahead and you're thinking, okay, what's that going to do? And so you're not even like surfing via your peripheral vision here. You're like surfing like a direct like line of vision at what's happening like way down the line. And so it's like really bizarre because you kind of turn off to what's happening in your peripheral. So that's why I'm saying it's like a total mind warp. It's a different way of riding.
And it's weird, like that place gets like a haze on it, right? Like a fog. So you can't even see down the line.
You can't see,
So what's the deal with like the end section? Like it gets really foggy. Like isn't there heaps of seals around down there?
There's heaps of seals, and the further you go down the point, the less people there are because most guys have caught their wave and have done like a little run and stuff like that. So the further you go down, I guess like the more you're surfing by yourself, and you do start to think about sharks and all that. But actually, you know, you just brought up Josh Cleve, and on that day, just like his run before that wave, he thought he was going to drown.
Jeez.
He got caught down the end because what happens is the sand speed kind of goes straight down the point and then it kind of comes and
turn back
corners.
Yeah.
And so all the swell that comes down the point ends up closing out straight into like a gnarly shore break. And Josh actually caught a wave into there because of the fog. He didn't see that was the end of the point. And he didn't make the barrel and came up, and he reckons he got caught inside by like a 12, 15 foot wave.
Jeez.
Like a shore break, heavy wave.
Yeah, because that one.
And he couldn't get in, he couldn't get out, and he was saying that that was a real moment of like a real reality check for him.
Yeah.
And so he went in and he took his time to walk back up the point, and he was like thinking about his family and thinking about all that, and then he jumps out and he gets the best wave of the day. So it all kind of worked out for him, but yeah, it's a dangerous spot.
Yeah.
Really scary.
Yeah, it's just so long. I can see how it's like so isolated if it's, you know, such a stretch of beach.
Yeah, totally.
And just no one out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit weird. Like, isn't there skulls and stuff around?
Yeah, there's still skulls all over the shop.
Weird stuff.
I was surfing one afternoon and saw a fin twice. I don't know if it was a dolphin or a shark, but it didn't come back up, which makes me think it was a shark.
Yeah.
Another guy saw, like, he believes it was a shark and freaked out and tried to tell everyone. And because the distance is so big between each other, he tried to tell these other guys he could see, and they couldn't hear, and they stayed out there. And yeah, it's pretty gnarly, but fuck, when you see waves that good, you're kind of like, well,
it's definitely a bucket list for like anyone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But then I've been watching the forecast and it hasn't broken since.
Really?
So. It's hard. It's hard way to get on. Yeah, so fickle. And then came back from Africa and straight into some waves on the east coast.
So it was, the last week and a half is pretty much had a swell, or like every week of June, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's July now. So
every week of July. Been a big spell. So it's been really, really lucky. It's
been getting any waves out here?
Yeah, Whaley's been pretty fun. Not like an all-time day or anything like that, but something to surf. But far out for a backyard wave, I think I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah, it's a good wave. Yeah, it's definitely my favourite round.
Yeah.
And then over at the reef, over in town.
Yeah.
This past weekend, and when was it? It would have been like the week before. You got some rippers.
Last Wednesday and last Saturday. Yeah. It was so cool. It was just good to get out, you know, your local reef and get some fun waves with a bunch of mates and stuff like that, and ride each other off and have some fun.
Yeah, you guys are pretty loud out there.
Yeah.
And it's such a close little takeoff zone, it feels like everything's all happening there.
For sure. And most of those guys that I was surfing with on Saturday, like all the boogies and, all the boogies, like we grew up surfing there. We actually used to all hang out and leave our stuff in a garage just up at South Ave Headland.
Yeah,
when we were, like, this is, like,
when you were little kids,
far out, like 15, 16, 17 years ago. No, 27 years ago.
Yeah, when you were
13.
that age. Yeah.
and so like a long time ago. So it's pretty funny that we're still surfing out there all together.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
World tour stuff.
Yep.
I was going to ask you a little about what you're doing. Every time I watch the world tour, I'd sit online and you see all these comments going, where's this guy, where's that guy, you know, why aren't you guys on the tour, like be like yourself, like Winnie, Mitch, do you have plans to go back on?
Far out, that's a hard one. Like, I'm not willing to retire and call it a day.
You're still ripping.
I don't know if I'm still ripping.
I don't know.
But the thing is I guess I'm aware that to win a world title and to take it seriously, like, you have one kind of foot in, one foot out. It's got to be like a venture where you're 100% or 110% committed, and you're willing to sacrifice every single other thing in your life. And it's like, to be honest with you, it's like a really isolating thing.
Yeah.
Every single time that I've ever won a world title, like I've pretty much had to sacrifice like a girlfriend.
Your relationships.
Everything, like family, every single other thing, and like it's like that huge investment that you got to put into it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm thinking like I don't really want to be like this old dude that's won a whole bunch of world titles and doesn't have much else.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but like, and I'm like kind of pretty manic with things. Like I don't tend to do things half-assed. So if I wanted to do it, it's going to be all in, and I'm going to have to sacrifice all these things again. Like I just know myself and just know that I don't really want to do that. I want to kind of move on with life and do some other things. But
yeah.
Like you like to talk about retirement and stuff. Like I don't really want to retire either, because I don't want to be like Kelly Slater and say, oh yeah, I'm retiring, and then 2 years down the track I'm coming back on. Like for me, retirement's like a conclusive thing. So if I retire, it's going to be conclusive, and I'm not sure if I'm really ready to call it a date as yet. Like I don't know what the circumstances might be in the future. I don't know what opportunities might come up. So who knows? Like let's keep it open, and I'm still keen to compete, like in competitions, like this South Coast event that's coming up.
Yeah, that's this next weekend, right?
Yep. Stuff like that, like I'm really keen to do, but it's when it comes to like devoting my whole life to a whole tour, probably not so much at the time for the time being.
I just see it would cost a lot of money, a lot of time, and I don't know how. I don't understand how like guys who have kids and wives and stuff do it. It's just they have to be so committed. Yeah,
they've got to be so committed, but they must just have really really easygoing wives and really easygoing kids that understand. And
my wife definitely wouldn't want me doing that.
I don't think many people's wives would be that keen on it. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd miss my kid for sure.
It'd be hard. It would, like even when I was competing full time, like I found it extremely hard.
Yeah. And
just knowing that every time you do commit to it, like you're intentionally stepping away from all these other things and possibly sacrificing them and creating some hardships for yourself.
Yeah, I did forget before to actually like introduce you. I mean, people know who you are, obviously. This channel's like a surf-related channel, bodyboard-related channel, so I think that everyone knows who you are. Probably a few people would know sort of who you are, but because obviously they're new to the sport. But tell us a bit about like your accomplishments, like what things have you won? Like you've got 3 titles, which is awesome, and then you've won like a few awesome events.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to list them or just
No, it's all right. So like I always say like I've won 2.5 world titles, and I say that because I won like two world titles outright, and I feel like I deserve to win them. But the last time I won a world title, which was 2015, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It was in kind of like weird circumstances, because Aomori, Laverne and myself were tied for first place, and there was one event left, and that was meant to be at El Fronton, and that's where we're going to battle it out and determine who the world champion was.
Yeah.
But that event got cancelled.
Jeez.
And so they ended up not having a backup plan for how to resolve who was the world champion. And so what they ended up doing was like apparently there's a rule in the rule book that says that actually lists like what happens in this circumstance, and it goes back to who had the higher results the previous year.
Oh wow!
Who had the higher placing, and I actually had beat Aomori by 1 place the year before.
That's
so determined that I was a winner. But so I won that world title that way, which wasn't really like a completely fair way to do it.
It's not how you sort of want to do it.
Not how I wanted to do it, and there was like a whole bunch of fallout after that. Like I saw like comments from Aomori like saying like personally attacking me, saying no, but trying to blame me for it. And I was like, dude, it's not my fault.
Yeah, that's
so I understand that you're upset, but it's not my fault. And it was pretty upsetting, because like although I believe I didn't deserve to win it, it's still it's not me that made the decision. It was like the APB that made that decision, and
and they listed it like that.
Yeah, but he's like,
what can you do?
what can you do? I
Yeah,
don't have the
nothing.
money to make my own event to.
Yeah, to have a surf down.
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a surf off. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool and everything, but far out.
Yeah.
Can't
So
believe they cancelled that event and it
yeah,
let
it's
it
pretty
go
gnarly.
like that.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
was really
unbelievable.
gnarly. So that's I guess what I've done in terms of world titles, and some of my other kind of best things are like winning like some gear poles and reader poles
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That's been pretty cool. It's always good to know that people appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then like individual events, like I've always kind of thought that pipe is one of the best arenas for bodyboarding because you get ramps and barrels and stuff, and I've won that twice now, which is great.
Yeah,
And Shark Island as well is a great place for it, and won that a few times. So yeah, they're both locations that I deeply respect and think have a big part of bodyboarding history, and it's ingrained into its history.
Yeah, that's awesome. They I don't think I ever said congrats on all that.
Oh, no worries.
I've probably seen you out in the surf so many times.
Yeah.
But it is awesome. It is awesome to like achieve all that.
But
I've
know
never
what,
really
like,
done any competitions and
doing
that.
all that stuff you don't do for appreciation
people,
from
yeah.
others. Like, it's not for anyone else. It's completely for you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I never expect anyone to say, "Oh, well done, congratulations." It's like doing it is like enough
Yeah.
of a reward for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get
that's
enough
all.
amp out of it.
That's all I need. Yeah.
Oh, you still deserve some cred.
Thanks, man.
No, it's good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels good when you get heaps of comments on your Instagram or something like that.
Oh, that's funny. Actually, I actually put out a little thing to try and get some
Questions?
for
good
people
idea.
online,
Yeah.
but I put it out a bit later, I reckon. But I got a couple. Someone wrote this like 2 minutes ago, actually. And you can just be short with these. This one's from Zachariah Bowden. He said, "Why do surfers hate bodyboarders so much?"
Hey Zachariah,
It's a bit
how
of
are
a
you,
weird
mate?
one.
To be honest with you, I don't think surfers do
I
hate
don't think they do
bodyboarders. Here in Australia, anyway, at least.
It's so chilled out here, eh? Like,
Yeah.
everyone just likes whatever.
Yeah. I think there's something against. There's like a bit of conflict between a good surfer and a bad surfer, and sometimes
Yeah.
bodyboarders.
Get in the way, hey.
Yeah,
Sort
like
of,
and
yeah.
that's vice versa. Like a good surfer could hate a bad stand-up surfer.
Yeah.
And there's localism as well. Like there's a lot of things, a lot of kind of social laws at play here with
Yeah.
surfing. And I think sometimes people misread that they're getting heat from the stand-up surfer because that they're riding a bodyboard. I couldn't really say that I've witnessed that kind of behaviour. Well, actually, not since probably like the late 80s or something like that, when bodyboarding was really starting to become quite popular,
Yeah.
and perhaps like we were threatening surfing. But these days, I think that both forms of surfing realise that
Yeah.
it's got its place, and there's
just
a
its own
reason
thing.
why, and it's two totally separate things, and there's
Yeah.
appreciation and respect mutually.
Yeah, it is like that. I mean, I haven't had much. I do remember when I was about 13, I had this guy like paddle up to me and say, like, "Aren't you going to be embarrassed to tell your kids that you've ridden one of those your whole life?"
Yeah,
and I was
right.
just like, "Whoa, like, just relax, eh?"
Yeah, it's so
Like,
weird.
I didn't know what to say. I was like 13 years old,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a bit cut. I probably like caught away from went in and cried, but I'm thinking about that now. That's the only time ever that I've had trouble.
Yeah, but what a jerk. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
what a
imagine having
toss.
that dude as your dad.
Yeah, what a toss.
Like, not being accepting of what it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
You had to
what's
be his
worse,
kid,
being a
eh?
bodyboarder or being that dude's kid?
Yeah,
Far
what a
out.
loser.
Yeah, well,
I don't even know. I never saw him again, hey, so I don't know who he was. And that was up around Ballina.
yeah, right.
Another one, this guy called Pimple Tuna. I haven't seen some of these names before, but he says, like, what motivates you to keep bodyboarding? I think you've already sort of hit on a little bit, eh? Like,
guess.
just a personal drive, eh?
No, well, yeah, hey, Pimple Tuna, what's happening, my bro? To be honest, like, the thing that drives me and keeps me going is, like, just how much fun I have with it. It's not like about, I don't have, like, a giant sheet of goals I want to achieve with bodyboarding or anything like that. It's just, like, I do what I love doing, and I love bodyboarding, and I love, coming out and having fun. That's all there is to it. Like, in going back to, like,
Yeah.
what you're saying about big wave surfing and stuff before, like, I like doing that. It's really exciting, and you know, I think if you follow your heart with anything in life, you're gonna be doing the right thing. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Billy Bogue just says Dead Set Legends. Another question for you. But
yeah, I know Billy Bogue. I've been
love.
talking to him. How are you, bro?
Yeah, he's a legend. He's always putting up like good little POV.
Yeah,
videos
actually, he's
from
pretty
Shell Harbour.
talented dude. Eh? Good rider and can really make a sick clip. So he's
There's
doing a great job.
there's a few kids down there that like down at Shell Harbour make sick clips. Hey, I always get jealous because those little waves are always breaking, and I'm just what's going on? I'm not getting anything.
I've always, ever since I was a kid and first stumbled upon all those reef breaks down there,
Yeah.
I thought that it's going to be a real hot spot for bodyboarding because they're so well suited for bodyboarding.
Yeah, it's sick. It's really good. This guy, Soul Seeker, he's got this hood on like black, but he says like, what injuries have you gotten? So obviously from surfing.
Hey Soul Seeker, how are you, bro? I've had a lot of injuries. Far out. Okay, so one common injury that I've had is like I've burst both my eardrums twice. So twice on my left ear, twice on my right ear. And that's a pretty common one because I surf so much, and sometimes I'm surfing when I'm sick, I've got the flu or an ear infection, and when you combine that with surfing heavy waves, it's really dangerous because like when you're dealing with like a heavy lip and the shock wave hits you, you've already got like a lot of tension on your eardrum, and I've burst both my eardrums twice as a result. One time I was in this giant like 8-foot cavern, just driving through this big pit, and the shockwave hit me with so much force and just ripped my eardrum.
Just popped like
Yeah, because it's like, imagine like a bit of fabric or a drum, and you know, when it's under too much tension, you hit it with with anything and it's just going to break.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the eardrum. So
It reminds me of my Bucks party.
Oh, yeah.
My brother-in-law now, he threw this like bit of cream at me from like this far right into my ear, and I was deaf for about 5 hours, I reckon, out of that ear. So I know what you're saying. I don't know if it busted my eardrum. It didn't hurt after, so I got lucky.
Yeah.
I was scared, hey.
Yeah,
I was like, far out, this is just a Bucks party, chill out.
Just a Bucks party. When is it just a Bucks party?
Yeah, well that's true.
And then other injuries apart from that would be, once I was in Tahiti and pulled like a chopu, and it was like in this barrel, and the shockwave like launched me and I landed like on the other side of it, and I face planted something in the water and tore like a chunk out of my eyeball, and that was bleeding. That wasn't very pleasant, and I was really scared that I was going to go blind. It must have been like a branch or something in the water that I hit. Another thing, tore my spleen from landing on my elbow. Had to get airlifted out and almost died from that.
I read about that. That's crazy.
Smashed my face many times actually. Like here, the top of my nose, my chin, here. For some reason, your faces seem to pop it.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's where you're leading with, and you always tend to hit it. I've dislocated my knees. I've got scratches all over my body and stuff. But I mean, that's just like part of being a boy and being a bit stupid and reckless, I think.
Yeah. Insane. I'll just check this thing again.
Yeah.
It says, what do you... Oh, it's from 12T, just so that you can identify him. What do you see the bodyboards looking like in 20 years' time? Because we've seen quad concave bottoms, deeper channels, and most of these adjustments are for speed. So what do you think the future holds for bodyboards shapes?
Wait, it's A2. What's his name?
12T.
12T.
Mr.
What's
T.
happening, my bro? Good question. The way I kind of see bodyboards going in the future is like further development of the bottom kind of hulls and stuff like that. Like you said, like a lot of boards are messing around with different kind of bottoms, different channels. This one here's got a quad concave in it, and this, like a lot of this development's happening as a result of one of the better shapers getting access to what's called an Acu machine. That's AKU, and an Acu machine is actually like a really good CNC machine, and so it can get really detailed kind of plans for a bottom hull, and it'll like shape it exactly, like so precise with like a tolerance of like the smallest amount. So a lot of these like advancements that are happening are a result of like manufacturing processes getting better. But like in terms of like 10 years from now, I think what you'll see is like a balancing out, maybe better combinations, like maybe like a lot more thought getting put into like rails of boards, and also the flex of boards, because it's one thing that bodyboarders really think about is like how important flex is for a board, because you think like most surfers think, and you think it doesn't really matter, but actually flex is so important, because you think about it like you're riding a plane, right? And if it's dead straight and super stiff, you can't flex it, and it's just going to like that line that's getting created from the rail. You're not going to be able to break that, and it's going to be quite hard to turn. So when you start to think about like applying flex to it, you're actually changing the curve of that, and so you think like it actually starts to become really important when you want to like bottom turn up to the lip. The more flex you've got, the more you can kind of make that line accentuated and get it kind of like a curve through the face of the wave. And so I think that there's going to be more and more refinements in rail technology and flex, leading to bodyboarders getting better, I guess, more acute kind of angles. Like, so right now a lot of emphasis is on trying to get more speed, which is through the bottom contours, but then it's also going to be down the line, it's going to be on how to make more precise angles and better lines, which is going to lead to bigger airs and better surfing, like more kind of better performance.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been going pretty sick. But
It's a bit rocky right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm such a devotee of the Quad Concave.
Yeah, they're good, eh?
Yeah, they're good. Like ever since I've started riding them, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I've tried to get off them a few times and try to ride like the normal channel bottoms, and then I'll ride the normal channel bottoms like 1 or 2 times. And I'm like, I can't ride this anymore, and just get straight back on the quad. It's just got so much more like down the line speed and holds its speed as well.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like when I first started riding this, it did feel like a little bit strange. I think the first time I rode it, I kept the stringer in.
Yeah.
I have taken the stringer out and I just ride it with just the
with the beams.
Yeah, just with the beams.
PFS 3.
And the flex is just awesome when it's like new.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably have to put the string in later, but yeah, just the feeling of it was really different.
I agree. That's what I do.
You feel like, I don't know, just when you're in the barrel, you float like better over the sections, and and you do have more like when you're planing across the wave, you just fly compared to the other boards.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like I'd ridden those boards like my whole life. I didn't think that like it would make too much of a difference, but it definitely does.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. The one thing like that's really interesting, like what you said, Jay, is like that barrel. Like I know the barrel that you're talking about. You got a pipe and you kind of float it over the shockwave.
Yeah. And
yeah, it totally does that. Like it seems to, like you seem to be able to lock a really good line, and when the shockwave hits you, it just kind of like lifts, rather than kind of sinking. It's a really, really bizarre but kind of cool feeling. Like but I reckon that's like the lift is a result of the bottom contour, and also because you're sitting slightly closer into the face, not like probably here so much, because you got to imagine that your board's not slipping so much, so you're not losing all that energy into your board slipping down the face. So when a wave is steep, like you're not slipping down into here, like it's holding its line, so it's getting like sucked up the face a little bit more. So you can kind of think about that as being like a speed bank. Like the higher you go up the face, the more of this kind of bank gets built up, or speed bank, and you can push back down, and you can use that downward gravity force from that point to get more speed. So it's a good position to be in on the wave, and it really helps with tube riding and stuff. But it does take some time to get used to, for sure. Like you can't just surf it the way that you'd surf a normal wave. Like it would take 2 or 3 sessions to really get used to it. You can't just go across the face and expect to do a 360 whenever you want. You actually got to like draw lines and stuff like that. Yeah,
the tail definitely like works differently as well. I don't know, I felt it like on some bottom turns. Like it just seemed to lock in like really nice. I don't know how to explain it, but there was one out here I got, and I took off pretty late, and it just had such a nice line. But they feel really good. They're really good.
Thanks,
man. Like them.
Thank you.
But yeah, better finish up there. So I got to go to work. But make sure you want to follow you on Instagram.
Yeah,
they probably all know you.
Yep. My handle is Ben_player. There's a couple of fake ones out there, so make sure you follow the right one.
It's got the little blue star, right?
No, I've tried to get that on Instagram. That fucking won't let me get it. I got it on Facebook though, which is good.
Got to petition him.
yeah, fully. Come on, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome chat, man.
Thanks,
so
mate.
much.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Cheers. No, I appreciate it.
Hope you guys liked it. Yeah.